Hi everybody. Every once in a while somebody asks me what's the best way to start off a big Agile project. Maybe there's more than a dozen teams. I've worked on some that were over 40, close to 50 different teams distributed across the world. I'd love to tell you there's one great way to start big Agile projects, but there's not. And frankly, it's one of the great things about Agile is that it focuses on the people who are doing the work. So my recommendation to you is to go to the people who are doing the work, in particular the key leaders of the teams or the studios or however you organize, and talk to them first about what they think is the right way to start the project. Now, as an experienced Agile coach, which I assume you are, you want to make sure you come with your ideas and your experience. Come in with 4 or 5 key steps you think you need to do, whether that's story mapping or workshopping or prototyping, whatever it is, and say, let's start here. What do you think? And then get their feedback on what they think is the best way to start. There's 2 obviously great reasons to do this on one-on-one. You can build some rapport, build some trust. You can listen to their story, find out where some of the weaknesses are on maybe previous projects that the company has tried. And secondly, they can hear your point of view, hear your background, and you can tell them a great story about why it might not have worked for them, but it might work for this specific process. So for this specific project. So you can be influential. You can tell a story. You can move the ball just ever so slightly forward that you might not be able to do if you're in a big room with 2 dozen people. So my recommendation is that you come up with about a dozen key leaders on the project that you talk to first. Present your ideas, get their feedback, and then, and most importantly, find those areas where you can get a commitment. Say, it could be around stand-ups. Hey, do you think we can do stand-ups every day? Do you think we can come to the war room and all stand up together? Well, that may not be possible, but you can at least get a commitment maybe 3 days a week to come into the office, or maybe every day via GoToMeeting or something like that. So you're going to have to be flexible, but you don't want to step into that in a big group with a dozen or 40 or 100 people or whatever it is. You want to have alignment among your key leaders first about how you're going to run the project going forward. So once you figure out what are the 4 or 5 key tent poles of running this project going forward, then have your key leadership team together, and I can guarantee you what's going to happen. Somebody's going to say, well, I'm not really sure about that one thing, whether it's story mapping or doing daily stand-ups or whatever it is. And everybody's going to pile in and say, yeah, me neither. I don't think I can do this. You say, okay, that's great. Thanks for that feedback. Let me take a note here, and let's get back on that next week, or I'll get back to you individually, and take it off the plate and focus on the things we're all in agreement on, okay? So in your big meeting, make sure you're focusing on the positive things that everybody wants to get. Write it down, do it in Google Docs so everybody can see it if you need to, if you're not all there together, and get agreement that here are the 4 or 5 things we're definitely going to do. I'm going to get back to all of you individually to discuss opportunities and adjustments to those things we disagree on. So this may take a couple times where you come into a meeting with a dozen or so of your leaders, or over the top level of your folks, your product owners, your key scrum masters, and get agreement with them on the key steps. Find out where the weaknesses are, go back to them individually, talk about it, come up with some options. So it's coming from their point of view, not necessarily just yours, though you will be influencing it. It requires some politicking, I'll be honest with you, and influence to get everybody aligned. Now, you'll never get everybody aligned 100% on all the steps, but if you can get most of them, you can get moving. So that's my recommendation for today. Go one-on-one, go to the team. Find the weaknesses, go back to the one-on-ones, do it 2 or 3 times until you get team alignment on at least 80% of the process steps you need to move forward. That's all I've got today. Thank you.